Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to My Karmic Romance Timeless Tarot Reading. This is a tarot reading that is going to look at a relationship that you feel was more of a karmic tie and you're having a hard time letting it go and getting over it. So we're going to look at the energies of what this was teaching you overall, and then, very specifically, like emotionally, mentally, all of that. So, as always, Sagittarius, all decks I'm using are listed in the description box below. So let's go ahead and take a look at what overall lessons this relationship was to bring to you. Like, how was it meant to shape you and mold you and change you? Because the truth is, what hurts us the most is what grows us the most. So let's see, Sag. All right, right there. All right, so, oh, look at that. And I will say this, I have a karmic relationship myself, and I did a reading, and this is what came out for me too. So, Sagittarius, definitely karma from past life, but that does not have to mean a negative thing, okay? Even if you had a really negative experience with this relationship, it doesn't mean that in the past life you were really horrible to this person, all right? Most often, from my opinion and my belief system, this person is a soulmate to you. It's part of your soul family. And they are so close to you and love you so much at a soul level. And this is not conscious. This is not human, okay? That they said, yes, I'll be the one to teach you these lessons. I will take on this karma to show you how to transform, to become something completely different, bigger, better than you ever dreamed yourself to be before this relationship we shared shattered you. Okay, it's pretty deep stuff. And when you allow yourself to get into your soul and you disconnect from the human experience of it all, you see things from a much different perspective. And the whole idea of karma actually kind of changes a bit. And you see that it's not, what you thought, but this particular person that is your karmic relationship, they truly, this all happened to really change you, to grow you into your greatest potential if you choose it. Okay, so let's see what is next. The Hanging Man. Yeah, look at this. To teach you patience, to teach you sacrifice, to teach you how to come into an entirely new perspective about yourself, about life, your place within it, etc. So, Sagittarius, this was a very powerful relationship, and many of you may have mistaken this as your twin flame, but in my opinion, with all this going on, before we pull anything else, this relationship was to make you into the best version of you to meet up with that twin flame. Just saying. All right, so let's pull a card to see what this relationship was doing for you on a spiritual level through the contrast and the challenge. All right, so we have the Four of Flames that flew out, and remember, everything I say here is a choice. It's a choice to choose these energies to grow you or to totally destroy you. And that's the truth for every single one of us when we face any sort of challenge or adversity. Are we going to allow it to grow us, or are we going to allow it to destroy us? So spiritually, this relationship, if you allow it, really stabilizes you and balances you and forces you to look at who you really are and really understand who you are and come home into yourself. Like, whatever went on in this relationship, it is pushing you spiritually to come home to yourself, okay? Because we have the Four of Flames here. This is like stability, happiness, joy, union with self, in the context of this reading, okay? So you've gained quite a bit spiritually from this relationship, whether you are aware of it at a conscious level or not. So let's pull a Cups card to see how this relationship was intended to grow you emotionally. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yes, I say, Sagittarius, I'm sorry. This relationship is building you to the best version of yourself because of the love that is up ahead on your journey. We have the Ten of Cups. This is what you've gained from this relationship emotionally, which is ultimate emotional maturity and understanding. Again, if you choose it, this is where, like, you've been through so much that you have, you know, experienced the worst of the worst, and you've had the best of the best. And because of that, you know, there are 100 different emotions and experiences in between, right? And you have had them all. And if you choose, this is like the ultimate emotional maturity. Like, when you love again, it's the real thing. It's not silly. It's not lustful. It's not, you know, I'm a loss for words of what I'm trying to say here. It's full grown. It's bigger than anything that you've ever experienced before. Okay, even if you thought this relationship was like the ultimate, it was growing you for the ultimate. And emotionally, you're there 100% once you heal completely and move on from this relationship. So let's see from a physical, material perspective what you can gain from the challenge and adversity of this relationship. All right, the Seven of Crystals. Again, this is about patience. We have that ×2 here is patience. And with this coming out as your energy, I feel there is a period of time between this relationship and then the relationship that you're truly meant to be, that carries you for the rest of your days. Okay, this really is about yourself, like your self-esteem, the way you view your physical body, the condition of your physical body, also the patience, the dedication, the hard work. So from a physical perspective, this is more like a halfway point, okay? It's not this Ten of Cups. This is like some work has been done, but as you move beyond this, like this completes. It's like this a starting point, and you're halfway through, and whatever you were doing, it's like, there's just nothing happening. There's just nothing happening. There's just nothing happening. You know, and in essence, it's teaching you patience, and it's teaching you, you know, longevity, stamina, endurance, which, you know, in every relationship, I don't care how much love is there and how beautiful it is, there are some hard times that circle round, okay? That is the truth. And with this energy paired with the Hanged Man, it's like you have that capacity for that long haul through the challenge. When things just aren't working out, things aren't working out, things aren't working out, you have the capacity within you to endure that now. As before, it may have been more of a flighty type of energy in you where, you know, if you're really mad, you're like, okay, I'm out of here, and you leave, only, you know, later when you cool down to realize, okay, no, I'm coming back. I want to be back. This is really like a stabilizing of that energy for the long haul. And there actually may be a couple relationships that you have before you align to that, you know, ultimate relationship to continue the growth of this energy here. So let's take a look at how this relationship was intended to grow you mentally. All right. So we have the Three of Orbs, which would be the Three of Swords. So for you, what I get with this card is, you know, when something really hurts you, you play it over in your mind, like you rehash it over and over and over and over and over. And just depending on how you're feeling, it can really make you bitter, or it can really make you angry, or it can really just hurt you. So this relationship, you know, due to the severity in which it wounded you emotionally, is to break you out of this. Do you see the opening there? To break you out of it, because when something just hurts you so badly, you eventually, like, you can't keep playing it over in your head because it just hurts too much. And so this is like pushing you to get, you know, better discipline of your mental body, where you refuse to replay what has hurt you and what has harmed you over and over. You'll recognize, yeah, that hurt me, that harmed me. Yeah, this is how I feel about it. But I'm not going to allow it the mental space anymore, because all it does is steal from me. It steals from my happiness. It steals from my life. So overall, Sagittarius, this karmic relationship really is bringing you gifts through all the challenge, all the emotional trauma, all the heartache. There are gifts here if you so choose. And, you know, depending on how far out you are in the breakup is how well you're able to recognize the gift, okay? Because if it's just like a month or two out of this relationship, no, there's no way. You're too emotionally raw to really, you know, unless you're incredibly wise and, you know, just very grown already, then yeah, maybe after a month or so you can look at this and say, okay, yeah, I get it. But most of us are not made that way. It takes us some time to heal enough to start, you know, introspecting to see what gifts were present through the heartache and the lesson. So when you get to that place in your healing process, you know, you'll see that it really connected you to your own soul, because things that were going wrong, I felt like you kind of knew at an intuitive level, but you ignored it. And now you're like, nope, my soul don't lead me wrong. People lead me wrong, but my soul never does. Emotionally, you know, it, like I said, you are full grown, you are mature. The way that you see things, the way that you handle things is going to be very different in relationships going forward. Now, you know, here we are with the physical. Like I said, this is all about patience, and you are still in process of that. And then, you know, the Three of Orbs here, it's all about your mental body and improvement to that mental body, if you so choose. So let's pull a card to see ultimately what this relationship, you know, was meant to transition you into once we're completely healed and all of that good stuff. Because it takes time, it really does. And just remember this. This particular person was once a stranger to you. And before you met this person, there was somebody else that you were probably considering the love of your life, or the most important person that you'd ever been with, you know, right? And then they came along and they were just like out of this world, and you're like, oh my God, this is it. Well, no, this was just, you know, a little preview of what is up ahead, the goodness of it, okay? Think of it more like a boot camp preparing you for the true love of your life, you know, so that you are at your best, so that you don't make the mistakes that you made here. And vice versa, you know, Even though we're looking at what you've been offered, don't think for 1 second that you didn't offer this person a lot of growth as well, if they so choose. So let's see. Look at that. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny. Discernment, clear vision, detail. Yep. Sagittarius, this right here is saying that because of what you went through here, nobody could really lie to you in a romantic relationship again, okay? Discernment, clear vision, details. You see it. You see it all. Now, also, on the negative side of this, don't be incredibly or overly suspicious of the slightest shadow or movement because of, you like before you're like, oh God, I just didn't even give this enough thought or that enough thought. And now, like, don't be oversensitive to noticing details because, then you'll get yourself all balled up. So this is like when you are sensing that somebody's not being 100% with you, you know that you're right. And because we are completely emotionally mature, this is saying our emotions will not control us in the future. The logic of our mind will. So no matter how much you love somebody, if you know that they are disrespecting you, they're lying to you, there's betrayal, whatever, you have the emotional strength and maturity to walk away. The logic of your mind to walk away and say, listen, I know that you don't have my best interest at heart, and because of that, I've got to move on. So this is like making you very wise. Like nothing can get past you if you choose. Remember, I've got to keep saying that, if you so choose. So let's pull some cards to see what is keeping you hanging on to this relationship. If anything, some of you might be completely over this and you're just here to see, what this had to say. But some of you are still very much having a hard time, letting it go. So, I think that's pretty obvious, right? Hope. We are hoping, there's still hope inside of you that, this relationship will have another go-round. But I don't think it will. Like, I don't. Yeah, you're afraid to try something new. It's like you're very attached to this, even though, you know where it wasn't good for you. What was wrong, you're still very attached to it. And you want to know, as a reader, I just have to throw this out there. The one thing that is honestly more common, which actually really breaks my heart, is the person in a relationship who was betrayed, who got screwed over, who got rejected, who got left behind, like who received the craptastic behavior, is typically the person who is pining or wishing to be back with their ex. The ex that did all of that behavior, they don't seem to be wishing and wanting the person back that they did wrong. Like they don't. So it's like right after the breakup, the person who did the harm, they're not missing, they're not feeling, but the person who is wronged is in incredible heartache. And then, the coin flips, okay? Because the one that got screwed over is typically the one that's now trying to work to rebuild their life, do self-improvement, the whole 9 yards, right? Everybody who experiences a horrible breakup, all of a sudden they want to become somebody else. They're cutting their hair, they're changing their style, they're going to the gym. It's natural, okay? So they're putting all this work into self-improvement and healing, and the person who did all the harm, they're just living life, whatever. Eventually they're going to see your shine. And when they see you shining again and they're coming back to be interested in you, you're not going to be interested anymore. And that's when their heartache and pain starts happening long after the breakup. But guess what? You will be fully healed and moved on and living your life. And for the rest of their life, they carry this regret for what they did to you. That's why I'm saying with this energy, it's such a sacrifice to take on for any soul that, you know, it's so hard to not humanize it. But with this, you know, it's saying that you still hold hope and you're afraid to let go and to move on. Sagittarius, don't be afraid, okay? Let it go. Move on. You know, the best advice that I was ever given, if you're a female out there, is this. And it came from a brother who was 50 years old, and it's the best advice I've ever been given about men. And I'm glad he told it to me, because I was thinking about this stupid guy and I wanted to like message him, and so I was like talking to him to get advice, and he was like, well, you know, how did things end? And I was like, well, I just kind of stopped hearing from him. You know, we had one date and it was great, and then we texted the next day, and like there was nothing, like it was only a hug at the end of the night, okay? It wasn't anything, like we just had great conversation, amazing night, spent hours together, ended with a hug. Next day, text, and then nothing, gone. And so it was like several months after that, and I was thinking about this guy, and I was telling, you know, my friend, and he was like, no. He's like, no, don't message. And I was like, why? He said to me, men are hunter-gatherers. A man who is interested in a woman is going to pursue her, even when she's rejecting him. Okay, hunter-gatherer. Men want to be on the hunt. And, you know, not every man, obviously. But he was just saying in general, men are hardwired for that pursuit. And when they're really feeling a female, they're going to pursue her. And, you know, anybody that you have to chase, male or female, it's only going to run away. Like, you can't force somebody to love you, or you can't pursue them into loving you. You can't, you know, do all these wonderful things for somebody to make them love you, because at the end of the day, if you are doing all these things for somebody because you're hoping that they'll reciprocate, they're starting to rely on you and only look to you for what you are doing for them, not for who you are. And you don't want to fall into that trap. It's very easy to fall into that trap, right? Because when we're trying to impress somebody, we want to do things for them. We want to make them see, you know, what we bring to the table. But if they're not really interested anyways, you know, some people are dirty and they're just going to take advantage of that. So make sure you protect yourself and know that if somebody is really interested in you, they're going to pursue you. Just like if you're really interested in somebody, somehow, some way, you're going to put it out there, okay? And so if somebody's not putting it out there to you at all, let it go. Let it go. They're not worth your time. So let's pull some advice for you guys. All right, yeah, look at this wisdom. I am open to all of life's wisdom and share it with gratitude. Sagittarius, this is saying, like, this is not your final stop. Like, there's much, much more to come for you. There's many more experiences to be had. And then we have the water elemental. I allow my body, mind, and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes in my life. Yes, 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 yes. So these are the advice for how we are still attached to the ex, okay? And this is saying, listen, there are so many other wonderful experiences for you up ahead, because, like, look at the moons there, and then that's also the moon right there. There are so many more experiences up ahead, better, Sagittarius, than what you've had. As hard as that might be to believe, this is the universe saying, trust me, trust me. And the water elemental with risk, this is saying allow changes, allow the new in. You do not know how happy you're going to be, okay? And that's just we think that because of where we've been, we're never going to be that happy again with somebody else. And that's just not the truth at all. It's not the truth at all. I promise you that. I promise there is better love and greater happiness for you ahead, Sagittarius. And this relationship was only grooming you and shaping you and prepping you for that experience. And, you know, once you're solid, once you're ready to go, that new relationship will come into your life, and you will be so grateful for the fact that this didn't work out. I promise you that. So those are the messages that I have for you guys. I'm wishing you all the best and sending you lots of love and healing, and promising you there is a beautiful romance ahead for you if you so choose it. Okay? So take care, everybody.